Welcome to a tuition video concerning setting program options in PVSol 2017. This is also applicable to PVSol Premium 2017. So we're going to look at some of the menu options to fine-tune your program. You can access the options from the menu, and the first option we'll look at is categorized as user data. Here the data will ultimately appear in the final project presentation report. So you put your own details in, whoever the designer is, and that can include a logo of the company. Once these have been set in, you can effectively set as a default in the program, and that means it will save you time in the future, so you won't have to keep filling those boxes in. You can also change where the projects are normally saved on your hard drive, and indeed the units, SI units or US Imperial units. The currency symbols shown in your program are actually taken from your Windows settings. The other settings are typically left ticked as default. Reset options are present. Be careful using these because you could lose your user settings, but they are useful for troubleshooting if there are problems with the program. There are further options indicated as on screen here. There's a couple of screens we're going to look at. The first being the AC mains, the electrical mains, and here we can set the voltage and phase of the electricity, and also if there's any restriction on the output from the system. Notice also CO2 settings. That is default to a German setting, and so for whatever country you're in you would adjust this. For example, in the UK you would possibly expect near 500 grams a kilowatt hour. Moving on, we see that we can opt in to include detailed shading, which will increase the accuracy, will slow the calculation down as well, so it is optional, as is the minute value setting, which would increase the number of calculations by 60 compared to the hourly setting. We can also optionally set the diffuse and direct radiation values. Again, will increase the amount of results and slow the calculation down, but they are possible to optionally select either pod module area or for the project as a whole. The albedo or reflectance can be set either for the whole year or individually. For example, if you have snow in a couple of months of the year, you could adjust particular years depending on whatever is in front of the inclined modules. We've also got losses due to soiling. That could be dust build-up that occurs through the year and would affect the ultimate yield. We've got configuration limits, which is related to inverter choices and configuration. The limits can be adjusted or set to allow the program to determine those limits for you, and there are further adjustments available for the voltage and current limits as well. They're default to zero tolerance. Unbalanced load and indeed the maximum DC voltage are options and requirements in some countries, and can be optionally adjusted and the values accordingly set. On to the way the configurations are laid out, the number per page, and depending on what device you're using, the size of the screen possibly, and also whether you are presented the tolerance, the yellow colored options is a choice, and also how the maximum PowerPoint trackers are set and presented to you, either to maximize the full use or as evenly as possible. Notice you can only have 2 models of inverter per configuration. In the presentation options, you can elect to have them all in, or not, hardly any, or key sections such as the finance or possibly the detailed drawings can be omitted. You can effectively also adjust the presentation in Microsoft Word, although it's arguably much quicker to do it here in this set of options. And once they're set, you can also adjust the program language, the language used in the presentation, which would be potentially different to the program language. You can see there's quite a choice of languages. If you don't make the selection, then the language will be the same as the language you've selected on screen to be shown. You have further choices of resolution of the pictures and the landscape or portrait format of screenshots in your report as well. And finally, the simulation results option. If you opt into some of these, it will provide you more results, but would increase the project file size, and you can choose however to do that. And in regards exporting results to Excel, you have some options on the defaults of the units of energy, temperature, and the separator used between the values. So thank you for listening. If you have further questions, please visit the forum, online forum, and of course you can send in questions by email. There's a screen coming up with the website, and therefore contact details through that. And of course, please feel free to download the program for a trial version. Many thanks. Bye bye.